Hey, ¿qué pasa, Calexico? Welcome back to the podcast. I'm your host, Jose Alejos. And before we start, I want to start by thanking our friends at Calexico Brewing Company for allowing me to record my podcast here.
Providing good water.
And for those people in the Imperial Valley that don't come to Calexico that often, you can find their beer at Burgers and Beers on Imperial and El Centro, Johnny Carino's, Strangers and Strangers West. So those of you that don't want to make the drive down here, you can, find their beer.
Gotta get this beer at Town Pump, man.
Oh yeah, I was gonna ask you if they have
we
beer.
Don't, but they can. We can do it.
Yeah, maybe you guys hook talking and then see if they can sell it at the Town Pump.
I like that.
Also, want to remind you that Wednesdays is Weenie Wednesdays. They have Pinky's hot dogs here at
Check those out. I heard they have good things about them.
Yeah, I haven't had them because I'm on a diet right now. But I've heard a lot of good things. That hot Cheeto hot dog looks delicious. Right. Also, I want to remind everybody about Oktoberfest. It's gonna happen October 20th at Crumit Park, I believe. So yeah, make sure to follow Calexico Brewing on Facebook just to get all those details. And today's guest is my first returning guest. He's a stand-up comic. He's a host of the Small Town News podcast. He is a father and a husband, and now he's running for Brawley's.
Yeah, can you introduce me like reverse that? Can you put candidate and then father?
Oh, okay.
And then host and then comedian. No, first guest. Last time I came was in a completely different capacity, physically, as I didn't have a voice. We were just talking about that, but also I was not a candidate. Today I am a candidate for Brawl Elementary School Board. It wasn't planned, man. It wasn't. I know a lot of people think because I've been involved in the political kind of spectrum of things and what's going on, and I think people saw like, oh, he's just trying to take that first step into a political career or political step. But this was never part of my plan. If anything, I thought maybe 2 years running for city council, but for school board it was not. But as I kind of saw what's going, I didn't know. I had a lot of questions, and I still do, about our school district. And knowing that I'm a parent, my daughter just got entered the first grade, in that school district, in the public school system. And so I kind of started doing my research, kind of figuring out what's going on. And I thought, I know I can benefit this school district if elected. I have my education. So I think a lot of people, kind of like you introduced me as a comic, like a lot of people I think see me as young, but also as like a jokester in a way. But when I look back, I do have, there's substance beneath what I do, and even how, underneath this youthful looks. I accept my master's in public administration, with an emphasis on, within that program, I completed a public sector management leadership option that kind of gave me a oversight on how all public sectors are organized and operate. I've worked for the county for the past, and here I am just giving you a spiel, but I got to keep it real, Yeah. I've worked for the county. I kind of try to keep that away, just because, with Small Town News, I was going after politicians while an employee of the public sector. So it's kind of a fine balance. And not only that, even when I was working with the County of Imperial under the Area Agency on Aging, I wasn't one to like, hey, this is what I'm doing, because at the end of the day, that's my job. Those are things I need to be doing, right? So, and working with the Area Agency agents for the senior population. So even though I had a big social media presence with regards to Small Town News, some of the stuff I did with the AAA, a lot of seniors aren't on Facebook or social media, so a lot of the information outreach you did was the good old visiting senior apartments, creating informational handouts in English and Spanish, and that old school kind of way of communicating. So helped me a lot in regards to getting the message out. Because one, I'm young, but I'm working with a senior population that has never owned a smartphone, don't even know about apps or even Google. They just, they have their ways, and So I think it's kind of benefited me in regards to not just campaigning, but also just in general as an employee of the public sector. So I don't know how we got into that part. Well, yeah, because there's substance, man. Because even now with the comedy thing, I've kind of taken a step back. You know, don't get me wrong, I still sometimes enjoy go to Mexicali and do the open mic there because that's just a little bit of therapy. No one knows me. They don't even know my jokes. I do it in English.
Yeah, that's funny. Something we went to the first time we went to Mex. You had more laughs than I did, and I said my jokes in Spanish.
And I made fun of them. You know, that's cool though. That's a good crowd, and even now, you know, they're growing. But even with small town news, it's kind of taking a step back because I've really focused on this campaign. It's not something I'm taking lightly. Like, so even though it's a bit last minute, it's not something like, oh, try it and see. No, like I'm in it to win it. Like my daughter's futures in this school district. My family. I'm born in Raleigh, raised in Bryan, going anywhere, man. So I am taking it serious. You know, I'm going door to door. I didn't want to get signs. It took me. It took me convincing from former, you know, politicians, or current politicians, and those involved in the politics to get them. Because you know, at the end of the day, they can't vote for you if they don't know you're running, and it's a good way just to, you know, remind people you're a candidate, and also to get out. You know, just recently we walked my neighborhood, myself, my daughter, and my fiance. And went all around our neighborhood to my neighbors and down the street. I was thinking, though, you know, this is something I probably should have done when we first moved. Like, go door to door and introduce myself. I felt kind of bad because now I'm doing it as a candidate. You know, in a way, I'm asking for support or just to give me their time. And I think we've lost that in a way, that sense of community. You know, and I think we need to bring it back. And so I think I've been fortunate to create a platform through Small Town News to kind of remind people and attempt to get engagement. People do want to be informed. I think we can agree on that. But sometimes we got to meet them halfway. And some of the things I saw within our school district was even in how to get informed was some of the minutes, the minutes of the meetings weren't transcribed probably as defined as they should be. No action items simply had yay, nay votes rather than transcribing the discussion. So when you kind of look at the minutes, you say, oh, they all voted yay, so no discussion, just yay, 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 yay. Or one person voted nay, and I don't know what they said, you know why. Maybe it was justified, but you know, there's no recordings online available.
They don't.
You can request it, and you have to go down there and get a USB drive. And I know because you know I had to go through that. So it's kind of little things like that I think we need to push forward because above all, we need transparency. And like I said, we had a forum, and I said, you know, I know sometimes we have candidates that come on, say I want to do this and this idea, and it sounds great. But in the long run, is it feasible? Especially when you're one vote and you still have to, you know, kind of navigate through the system. And I think because I'm young, people might not think I'm have experience in regards to how voting bodies work. I know there was this thing on Facebook where I said they motioned to create a dress code committee. I know it was kind of a long discussion. I said they motioned to create a dress code committee. I assume they did because they created a committee. And if you want to create anything from a board, you do need to take action. You can't just snap your finger and say committee created, because then okay, who's accountable? Who voted for it? I want to know, you know, who's behind it. What was the discussion had? So it was kind of a weird thing, and they corrected me, and so I was like, wait, so that no committee was created? And someone commented like, you should know these things, and I was like, well, you know, I work for the you know, the county. I'm actually the official recorder, so we have an advisory council for the area agency on aging of seniors throughout the Imperial Valley, seniors from Raleigh, Central, Calexico, who all come together once a month and kind of help provide input on what services and what can be done to address the needs of our senior population. And so I'm the official recorder, so I compile the agenda, I compile the minutes, I conduct the trainings for any of them. So I'm very well versed in Brown Act, Robert's Rules, and just how bodies. So I know people have been saying you need to go to meetings, and I do go to the meetings, but I do know I know the motions, I know that setting policy, how to propose something. It's beyond micromanaging. because I think I'm young and I look it and don't get me wrong, I joke around a lot. There can be a misconception that he doesn't know what's going on or how it's done,
or he's not serious.
Yeah, and I do, and so there was that thing. But I'm thinking, if I'm confused and I was there needs to be more clarification and more, just clarifying from our board regards to Republic, and that's one thing I can guarantee, because. You said, going back to I said these politicians come on, they say I want to do this and that, and it's cool, but is it feasible? The one thing I do have ideas. Don't get me wrong, improving teacher quality, improving some of our literacy rates. I have ideas on a facility improvement in regards to how Brawley is facing overcrowding. Our kids are in trailers, but that's going to take time. That's going to take a process that I'm very aware of. So I can't promise you that I'm just going to go in and make these changes and ideas happen. But I can promise the people that I will provide transparency. I'll be open to communication. I will work hard. And those things I think I've shown through small town news and through my work with the Area Agency on Aging. And those, like I said, those are guarantees I can make because I do them. I don't, because I'm young, I don't party, I don't drink, I don't do any of that. I'm a homebody. Friday nights, on Friday and Saturday nights, I work on my side stuff I'm working on. Right now, it's campaign material. It's kind of creating a platform, kind of understanding ed code. But it's also making the connections, making calls. So that's what I can, like you said, I'll work hard and I'll be open. I think we see a lot of these politicians who, every 4 years they come out, right? You don't see them for 4 years.
Yeah.
I'm out. You can find me. You can find me at work. You can call me. I'm going to listen. And I think that's what's needed right now. We had the CSCA, the classified staff, had a forum 2 weeks ago. And one of the things I got from it, I think from the questions they asked, was that they felt they weren't being heard. And even one of the board members, one of the incumbents, provided an answer that said, kind of corroborated that. Said, we haven't been doing a good job at communicating. And they even whispered to me in the middle of, after they answered, we're not doing a good job. And I respect the honesty. Don't get me wrong, I respect that. But it also kind of puts it in my mind, okay, if you haven't been doing a good job for the past 8 years, what makes me think, as a voter, as an opponent, but mainly as a voter, that you're gonna fix that in the next 4, right? And so, I'm a member of CSA here in our chapter, and I feel like that's common feeling when it comes to CSA employees. Yeah, and you guys are the unsung heroes. You guys make sure our schools are clean. You guys make sure that the playgrounds are kept up. The kids are delivered or transported. The files are properly maintained, and then the food is cooked. They go by the standards imposed by the state and feds, and so I'm completely aware of that. And I felt that's what I got, was that they feel like they haven't been listened to. And listen, I think because I know I am inexperienced, that's going to allow me to listen, because I'm going to have questions and I'm not afraid to ask them. Yeah. I'm not afraid to reach out and say, hey, I don't know this. So I think any questions I have is going to be, the answers I'll provide will benefit not only, myself, but the public and those involved and the stakeholders. And so, I got that. I think that's what I got from, was that they want to play a part in decisions, which they should. Any decision made by a board or by the school administration, that whoever it impacts should have a say, no matter how big or little the impact. They deserve that and deserve that respect and recognition. So they did endorse me. I think it's telling that there's 2 seats open, 4 candidates. I'm the only one they endorsed. So
how many candidates are running?
4. So, and 2 seats, 2 incumbents seeking re-election, and another individual. Who is so? They offered. They will be endorsing me, and it helped a lot, because honestly, man, I think people think I have a team or I have this big plan, but this has all been me, man. I've ordered my own stuff. I've been placing my yard signs. Right now to pull over because my yard signs are almost flying out of the back of my truck. I've been delivering my own yard signs. All the big signs, I got blisters all up in my hands because I've been nailing them, posting them down. The big the big 4x4 signs. So this has been really like a one-man show. I'm used to that, right? I have small town news. It was just a one-man show. You know how that is.
Yeah.
And so it's been a lot of work that maybe people don't see. I think they assume because I built this platform with this network that I just I'm running. Everyone, no, it's still me. It's still me putting the work. But I enjoy it, and it's for the right reasons. Like I said, man, my daughter's there, and any decision I make if elected as a board member, as a board trustee, if it's not good enough for my child, it's not good enough for anyone's child. Because it is a future, and the one thing I do want, I think it's been apparent, is I want the best for Brawley, and any decision I make is gonna, be for that. Listen, I'll criticize, I'll say things, but at the end of the day, I'm still in this valley. Like, that's one thing people get offended. Like, oh, you say things about the valley, these politicians. Like, hey, I'm still here, man.
Yeah.
Like, I can say these things because I want, we need to push our elected officials to do more. We need to push our public officials to do more. And from criticizing and making fun of our elected officials the past couple years, the last thing I want is to become exactly like the guys and women that I've been making fun of. And so I'm cognizant of that. So we'll see. It's going to be an interesting election as the incumbents are well established, well respected names, and I am a new face and a new name, as my family my grandma ran 50 years ago.
Oh yeah, I saw that on
other than that, that's the only family member of mine immediate. I have had like distant second cousins and whatnot, but in my core, family, that's the only one. So the only Rebollar, put it that way.
How do you feel that you being someone young, someone that's been recently compared to everybody else that's been recently out of the public school sector, that kind of knows, because to me, being somebody that's in the technology field, I feel that technology has a lot to do with the way our kids are being educated, how it's implemented into our schools. How do you feel that you, being someone young, that
as a young parent, I say that if elected, well, currently there's no if elected, I'd be the only parent. I keep saying current parent, because I'm sure there's other school trustees have been parents, are still parents at one time, but their children are much older.
Parent with the child
in the school system. It's so much different raising a child today than it was just 10 years ago. Yeah. I mean, I was 18 10 years ago, and our phone was a Razor. The phone had the pixelated. Now the phones are computers. Our high processing computers in the palm of our hand. More and more parents are working double jobs, or working more jobs, or even together. It's just a different time, and it's a different perspective that I can bring, and that's something that the others can't say. And like I said, I can't measure. It's not quantitative, the perspective of being a parent right now, but it does. Is an immeasurable fact and a perspective that they can bring to the table. And so, times have changed, man. Kids are watching YouTube. The YouTube stars our kids are utilizing iPads more than ever. And that's why, in regards to the transparency of things, there's no excuse to not be as transparent as possible. No excuse to have a stream on via the internet, whether YouTube, whether it's Granicus, whether different means. There's no excuse to have a recording available for those parents who can't attend meetings. And I've heard that, why don't parents attend meetings? Listen, not everyone works 9 to 5. Some of us work 12 to 12. Some of us work double jobs. Some of us don't work, but the other parent is working, so we have to watch a child. It's a different time, and I think, as a parent, I understand that. My friends are parents, my families are parents. So I hear these things, I see these things that they might not, being older, just out of the loop. And
I feel that, me myself being a parent and here in Calexico, you hear things from, whether it's your child or, other parents that you mingle with. And when it comes to people that don't have any kids, they probably just hear complaints from employees, not parents themselves that
Yeah, and like I said, I'm out in the community. I'm not. It's not even like I'm reaching out to people. Sometimes I need to know their concern. Just from being at events, just from working in a job where I'm out and about, you get that community input without having to seek it. I'm not gonna. Just some of the politicians only seek it every 4 years or after, and then hey, I'm always seeking. I'm always getting it. Just from being an entrenched member, an active member of our community, man. So yeah, it's different. It's a perspective I bring that can only benefit our board. And I've talked to other administrators from different school districts, and I talked to one from Al Centro, and she's, majority of our board are parents, and it helps. You don't understand how much that helps us as administrations to have that perspective of things we can do better, things they're seeing within their own child, their friends, their classmates, and so it's important to have that, and hopefully the voters can see that come November 6th.
Vote Rebollar. And like I always say when I have candidates for whatever is going on, I mean, I might speak well about you because I know you're my friend. But I mean, I'm not. In reality, I'm not trying to endorse.
Oh man, there goes my Jose Alejo's Brawley votes. Dang it, man.
No, I mean, it's just a way for the people to kind of get to know the candidate.
Yeah, dude, I appreciate that. It's funny because we had the forum and people were asking, "Is there going to be another forum?" Because even I didn't really. It was tough, man. Listen, I've been on stage doing comedy. I've been done presentations and speeches and whatnot, but being up there on a forum, it was difficult. Like I felt uncomfortable, and I've been tasked to having to do comedy in English in Mexicali, but because I understand everything I say, I will be held accountable. I understand the importance of words as an elected official, just simply as a candidate. Like I said, going back to seeing sometimes people who aren't maybe understand the political process of the public sector in a way, and just saying these things during forums, and you're like, I agree, but when reality hits, you're like, can you live up to that? Yeah. And so I this forum understand the importance of watching what I say, because the last thing I want to do is make a promise or say something that I can't follow up on. And that was not difficult. Well, comedies, I go up there. It's funny. It is difficult because with the comedy, I go up on stage and I don't even have anything planned. I just go up. I think I have a blueprint. I'm just going to say what's on my mind. Whereas this, I'm still saying what's on my mind, but also being cognizant of the future of the perhaps not consequences, but after effects of what I say. Yeah. And not only that, the time limit. So they're like, what are your priorities? 60 seconds. Like, okay, let me give you my priorities for the next 4 years in a 60-second answer. And so, and
then I think the very common misconception is that, once you're an elected official, whether it's school board, whether it's city council, that you kind of run the place, you get a say of what needs. I mean, you can bring ideas, but at the end of the day, you're just a vote at the end of the day.
Yeah, it's a relationship building, and I think some people thought, like, I'm gonna go just the way I've been with the council, with the IID counties. I'm gonna go on guns blazing, like looking to pick a fight. Look, I'm not gonna pick a fight to pick a fight. I'm not going. Now, if there's an issue, I'll bring awareness to it. But yeah, no, I think people thought, because how I may come off on the show at times, that I'm just gonna come in and rock the boat and just blah blah blah. No, man, I'm here to work on behalf of the students, staff, administration, everyone involved that's impacted by our schools. And so, I mean, like, even with the Facebook thing, I got a whole new Facebook because people reporting someone was reporting some of the old stuff I put, and so I got banned for some old posts. And so I figured, you know what, if this is going to be going on, let's just start a new slate. So, got a new Facebook, and I've been cognizant of what I put, just because, especially with that position as an elected as a board trustee, you're representing children, and those who supervise and monitor our children. So I have, been aware of more what I post or like or share, because it's a big responsibility. It's a future, and I've been guilty of neglecting our school boards. I think a lot of people neglect what's going on because they're focused on the city county, IID, and I get it. And like I said, prior to my daughter entering first grade, I was guilty of it as well. But our school boards are just as important. I think I kind of made this comparison to cities and IID, and they kind of deal with problems presently, also in the future, but mainly presently. Whereas our school boards, what they're setting forth, affects our future of the valley. Like, that's a huge responsibility. It's a huge undertaking that I think isn't people aren't aware of, and I think I can bring awareness to that. Just simply being a candidate, I think I brought more awareness to this election than in previous years. I'm sure the incumbents probably didn't appreciate that they have to work this time, that they probably thought, hey, another simple election. I put some signs up, and we got in the last 2 terms. We're just gonna, but I'm at least, like I said, proud of the fact that I'm bringing more attention, whether I win or not. I assume more people will vote for the school board or be more in tune. And even with I had a meet and greet. I want to do it different in that. What's that? That's my daughter right there making cameo.
Yeah, you can probably see her.
There you go. Yeah. We'll go soon. All
yeah,
right?
we're almost done.
Shopping. We have to meet and greet. And that's customary. Meet and greet. Come meet me and give me a donation.
Yeah.
No. I don't. You can come meet me. We can talk. But it was also a school supply drive, and so it was a great turnout. It's something different. 'Cause I thought, you know what? And that's why with the signs, I didn't want to get signs. Man, that's money that could go to a backpack program. That's money that could go to our school rather than something I'm just going to put away for another 4 years or not at all. So at least I know with this school supply drive and the school supplies I get, that win or lose, our schools at least will benefit from me simply running. So I want to give them the school district, but since they have some political ties, they're kind of wary. So I say, I got it. Say no more. So talk to the Boys and Girls Club of Brawley to give them the supplies and distribute it, because the kids need it now. With the school year already started, kids need the supplies now. And yeah, so some people are like, well, the school didn't want them. Like, no, they just recommended, and I get it. Listen, like I said, because I'm in the public, I understand how people can misconstrue things. Like, oh, you accepted those, so now that you're endorsing, you're thanking him. That's an endorsement of the school. School can, I get it. Listen, so it's just kind of a hurdle. And listen, that comes with working in the public, being in the public sector that I'm very familiar with. So, kids at the Boys and Girls Club, probably will be getting these supplies, and I'm proud to say that I accomplished that. So, even with the walking, like I walked for some candidates in the morning to get a feel for it. All the candidates walk Saturday mornings, 8 o'clock. That's the custom. And I'm like, dude, as a parent, as a young person, maybe back in the day, people woke up earlier on Saturday mornings, but now some people like to sleep in. And I saw that when I went walking, no one answered at 8 in the morning. And so I've been going at night. I've been going right after work, and it's getting more of a better reception to interrupting them during dinner rather than sleep time. So it's good, I think. But I also see this election as a lot bigger than me, because I am young, and I think you're going to start. If I win, I think I can maybe help inspire other young people to get involved. It is tough for anyone young, or not even young, just someone who might not have the experience in this whole political game. And so hopefully, if I can't win, man, what other young person other than Hector here at Heffernan?
Yeah, I was gonna say that. So we had a couple of Angel, Hector. This time we have David Romero. He's young. That I feel that more people are getting inspired to. Yeah,
then you got El Centro. You got Tomas Oliva, who's running for El Centro City Council. So. I think you might start seeing a wave of more and more young people running for elected positions and getting involved. And I hope I can help kickstart that. I know Angel kickstarted that when they had that slate of him, Tony, and Hector, and even Manny, right? Manny. Mm-hmm. Angel's played a big role. I don't think he's even aware of that, of bringing awareness to local government and Calexico has a huge part in civic engagements. Calexico is really civically engaged in what's going on. It's kind of crazy at times, don't get me wrong, but you guys
we toned down a little bit,
Yeah, especially with like your selection, you got two whole new slate. You know, you're gonna have two new city council members, and you know the current two aren't seeking re-election. So that's very interesting. Like I said, it's been a quiet election this year, right now. But once we get in October, watch all these things are gonna pop off.
Monday morning.
Yeah, there's gonna be a Facebook. Someone's gonna put a Facebook ad that's attacking the other candidate, and it's gonna just go crazy. But we'll see. It's been fun. It's been a lot of work. I have more respect for candidates now than before, because it is work. You know, it does take time and patience to get to know people. Go walk and get your material, put in the time, do your research. So whatever happens November 6th, I'm really grateful for the experience. I've met some really great people. I've gotten a lot of good insight from. And now that I'm running, I feel like I hear like, oh well, this is going on in our schools. I'm like, hey, you could have told me this before. You know, I was a parent still, so it's been really great, and I look forward to continuing working with our school district, win or lose, because I have a stake in it.
And I feel that knowing you, I knew that you weren't gonna go in like just screw this. I'll try it out. I know you were gonna go all in,
Yeah, that's what everyone's saying. Everyone's like, yeah, you're the kind. I mean, don't get me wrong. I knew I was going to go all in and put in the time and work. But yeah, a lot of people said, oh, we knew once you said it. Because even like with the forum, they gave us so they told us like the week before, we didn't really no kind of idea of what was going to be asked. So I was like, oh man, like, this isn't fair, because the incumbents obviously know the issues already. They know who to talk to. I was like, so this is kind of, it's an uphill battle, per se. But I still reached out. I don't want to reach out to anyone in the school district, because I don't want, the last thing I want was like, oh, so-and-so gave them answers, so-and-so gave them hints, so-and-so, So I reached out to other trustees in El Centro District, administrators from the El Centro Elementary School District, just because I'm in Rotary in El Centro, so some of them are also in there. And just working with ICOE on some of the interviews, I got to know those in the education system. So I was reaching out, calling, texting them, just getting some insight. Hey, what are some of the things you've heard? What are some things I should know? And then that Monday morning, that morning of the forum, they emailed us the questions, and got like 5 more minutes. We'll go eat right now. They emailed us the questions, and I took time off work, man, just because I was like, I need to be prepared. And some of the questions they had were really specific in regards to grievances, arbitration, and I did my research, and I was prepped and ready. And I was hoping they'd ask those questions, because I was like, maybe they put those in because they don't think I would know about this, but I want them to ask. Cause I do know, I'm aware of the Janice case and all that. And so I prepped, and I said that, I believe in preparation. And that's the one thing listen, since I put together minute agenda packets, one thing I can't stand is when, elected officials don't, or public officials don't read their agenda packets, especially when they're retired. Like, I'm thinking, man, you're retired, you got all this time, you should not be going through this agenda pack you got last week for the first time tonight. I get it, maybe you're trying to provide transparency and open discussion, but come on, man, you can't be going as blind when you're making a decision that's going to affect, thousands of people. So I believe in preparation, hard work, and it goes even with like the show. I think people thought, like, even with whether it was the weekend updates, with my interviews, that I would just, what's up? I'm just gonna freestyle. No, everything was written, everything was researched. I might make it appear like I am, but my Facebook posts, but everything I put out has always been well researched, has always been well thought out and checked, or else I would have been sued a long time ago. Let's be real. So, I believe in preparation, and that's the only way that informed decisions can be made. So, yeah. I don't even know what we were talking about.
We were talking about how I knew, and then people knew that you were gonna go all in.
Oh yeah, yeah. Like I said, so the forum kind of helped me show that in a way. So even some of the candidates were like, one of the candidates like, we didn't get the question. I didn't get the questions. I was like, I saw your name CC'd in your email, homeboy. You ain't checking your email. Yeah. Like, get with the times, Yeah, get with the times. Would you expect it in the mail? I didn't get they emailed us the questions. I didn't get them. Email, man, email. So, but that's the way it is. Communication is so much different now. I utilize everything. Don't get me wrong. I still utilize mail. The endorsement letter came via mail. I have my email. I have my phone, text, call. I mean, that's when I say I'm accessible in any way. You could call me, you could text me, you can email me, you can just see me go to the restaurant. I'll probably be eating there or working there, and I'm talking like. I even said like on my show I had like 200 people, and I listened. And I didn't. It was a conversation, but the majority of it was listened. And so I was like, I'm someone who listens. But don't get me wrong. When I get my stance on something, I'm gonna stand strong and I'm gonna fight for it and be willing to be proven wrong. But before I get to that point, it's been well thought out, well researched, and critically thought. So
yeah. So I know your daughter is anxious to.
Oh yeah, we're gonna probably go to Hope Cafe right now. Shout out to I don't know if they sponsor.
Not a sponsor, but you can go to my Anchor page and sponsor me if you want.
They should, yeah. And even with the show, I think I'm gonna. I don't know the future of the show, man. Just because with everything going on.
But because of the election, or just in general, like
beyond with the election, obviously, definitely until November. Who knows? But yeah, I don't know. Everything's focused on this campaign. My time is going to be spent on this campaign because I am in it to win it. Like I know sometimes like candidates like, at first I was like that. If I lose, I lose. But no, I'm in this to win. It's because I know I can benefit our school district. I believe I'm the most suited candidate for this election. I believe I can do whatever. I can work harder than anyone else elected in this race. I know I can. I know I will. And so, and I believe that. Hopefully my passion it resonates with the voters because I know I can benefit our school district 100%. So, I mean, I'm not trying to do a platform, a campaign spiel, but I believe that, man. You know me. I'm passionate. Yeah. Everything I do with small town news, my job, my family, I don't go into something without, like I said, throwing myself all into it and knowing that I can do the best possible job. Because I don't want to put out something or do something that's not going to be a full effort. And so...
yeah, I feel that, from your show, people can, really see that, they like or maybe they can because they don't really know how much research it goes into, like.
Yeah, and even like I know the incumbents have been there for a while. I know they're gonna say, "Oh, what experience they have with the school board?" What was their experience with the school board before they got elected? I know. Well, I didn't know they were so well versed in school board policy. Before. So, that stuff comes easy to me. Not to say, but the researching and learning and reading and comprehending stuff. I'm not trying to sound but throughout college, throughout my education. If you just gave me something to read, understand, I don't struggle. Like I was fortunate enough to my mom read to me at a young age, and it's benefited me throughout my entire life. That little thing that she did, and so whenever you give me board policy, you give me legislation, I'll read, understand it, and that just takes time, work, patience, and obviously at times there might be not something to understand, but I'm not afraid to make calls and say, hey, I got a question on this. Yeah. And so, I think that would be the learning curve, and I know I could accomplish that.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think it's time for us to end this because Penelope is hungry, and I want to thank you again for coming by. Driving to Calexico and coming to... Yeah,
my signs are almost flying out to pull over, man. Because we'll go right now. I've been doing all the yard signs on my own. Like, people will say, just leave them at, the restaurant or leave them at your house. Mm-hmm. Or I work out Central. Like, give it to your fiance. Now, I want to go do it myself. And even before I go, I knock. Like, so people say, just put one in my yard. I still go up and door. Hey, I just want to double check. Like, I still have your support. And I say, man, just put it in. You don't have to knock. Like, I still, I hear some candidates, not in the Broad Elementary School District, race, but in other races locally who are just going around and putting them. I heard it's going on in Calexico.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so that they're just putting like 20 signs up at different houses. Actually, happened to my coworker. My coworker said they went outside and the husband was like, "Hey, I know you're supporting so and so," and she was like, "I'm not." And why is there a sign in our yard? She's like, "I never put that sign." He's like, "I never put that sign." I said, "What'd you guys do?" He's like, "Oh, we ripped it up because, we never put that. We never agreed to have their signs." So, I'm still, ensuring. I don't want to, it's a delicate matter of politics, and so I still want to make sure that people are. I'm not going to drop a sign off and whatever. No, I want to thank them. I still want to ask for permission. Just say, man, I appreciate the support. Because I think it does say a lot when they, say, yeah, we want your sign. Because my signs have my face. So my face is on your yard. So that means a lot to me. Yeah. So, but thank you.
You're not sure if it's a Halloween
right in October, yeah, and I'm sure. Hey, it would be fun. Make some signs with the mask on. But thank you, man. I appreciate. Keep up the good work. We need to be informed. Even I was talking to one of the candidates, and she was, "Oh yeah, I had a lot more to share at the forum." I said, "Before you just could have came on small town news and talk, but now you come on, get Pasa Calexico. I encourage get the other Broly candidates."
Yeah, I mean, like I said before, it's not only this is not only open to people in Calexico, it's open to everybody in the valley. And it's funny because I had a bunch of questions, but you can see that you came well prepared, and
I didn't. Spoiler alert.
And the thing is that you answered most of the questions that I had. So
and yeah, like I said, I didn't know what I didn't have anything prepared. I don't have any. I speak what I believe, man. I've always done that, and so everything I tell you is because, like I said, it's easy to remember stuff when you don't have to, when you don't plan it. When you've been just speaking your mind and being real, and so I'm a big believer in that. But yeah, we need this. And even like yours, I did one in Brawley, triple scoop. I hope we see this kind of new form of medium emerge. As we enter into the age of social media, of YouTube, of a different cable's out. Yeah, cable's out. Cable's on its way out. So the internet, we need to utilize that medium to become informed. So appreciate it, man. I thank you. Wish you the best of luck in this show. Get some more candidates. You got like 20 people running, man. Should not be short of any city council candidates. Yeah. So,
I mean, I put it out there, so I don't really, I'm not really out there searching for guests. If they want to come, this is open to.
Oh yeah, I know. We had talked a while back, and then I think I said I just want to go on. I just want to. So I said at the end of the day, I think my passion will resonate with people, and my reason why. I think that's something that you just kind of have to listen to me, hear me talk. That's not something I can put on a palm card that I can leave on someone's door. It's something that you have to feel, you have to hear, you have to see, and so, I just want to get it out there. And I think
the one of the biggest things that we need to focus also in this election is, just vote. Go out and vote. It's really important that that's the main thing. Even if you're not voting for Gil, just go out and vote.
Yeah, no, and I said
your voice
at the end of the day, I think I'm bringing more attention to this race. More people are talking about the Brawley School Board election than the last election. I mean, I don't remember the last election, to be honest. I do remember the last election, but I don't think it was well known. It's not that social media is an indicator of the awareness of it, but it does play a big part. And so I think my entrance into this race brought this awareness up tenfold, and I can't complain about that. I can't complain about more people knowing there's a school board election. Yeah. Even people say, I didn't know you were running. I didn't even know who was running for school board until I saw your sign, or I saw it. So, well, at least you know. At least you know there's a school board election. Thank goodness. So thank you, man. Appreciate it. We're going to go eat, get some crepes, and probably a Nutella one for her. Just what she needs. But no, I always appreciate the drive.
I know we don't have Toys R Us anymore, but make sure to check out our local comic book shop.
Oh, do you have busts or statues? I haven't bought one in a while.
Yeah, I think they have a lot of
okay. I've not bought it.
It's right in front of Walmart.
I've been so busy. I've not made any dumb purchases in the past like couple. I really haven't. Usually, I always make late night purchases on Amazon or Midtown Comics or whatnot. And actually, I bought this big Avengers bus like a month or two ago. Actually, it was a while back. It was my last thing right before this whole campaign. It was this big Avengers bus of Captain America, Iron Man, Alex Ross painting in a sculpture.
Oh, okay.
That's it. I need to get some more.
Yeah,
So,
go check out. It's called Collection Corner.
Collection Corner. What street?
It's right in front of the shopping center in front of Walmart.
Okay. All right.
That's
We
right
will.
there. They have a big sign that says comics. So
We
you
will.
won't miss it.
We will check it out. Thank you, man.
Thank
I
you, dude.
appreciate it.
Good luck.
You've seen me from, and I've seen you. From day one. So, we're venturing into new territory, and so I appreciate the opportunity to come here, man. Thank you.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you, man.
Peace.